Hi, I'm Eva, and for this final project, I'm going to talk about neuropsychology and leadership. As someone who is studying humanities and social science, I wanted to show that even human-focused fields are being transformed, and I'm going to show how brain science and teach are revolutionizing leadership, proving that understanding people and technology, it is the ultimate combo. In this presentation, first I'm going to talk about my future profession, then I'm going to move on to how we can apply neuroscience to leadership, then we will talk about the latest stage. After that, we will talk specifically about brain activation in empathy. Then I created a chart with Excel to show the activation levels versus the brain levels, and at the end you have the sources. I'm particularly interested in applying neuropsychology to leadership development. So imagine combining brain imaging data with coaching, to help leaders strengthen the skill like emotional intelligence with actual neuroscience backing, not just the theories. And this idea isn't just a hypothetical, because modern neuroscience is already giving us proven strategies to develop better leaders. Here we can see 3 game-changing instincts from brain science, which are neuroplasticity, mirror neurons, and stress impact. Neuroplasticity is our brains rewire themselves, so leadership skills can be learned intentionally. Mirror neurons is the teams unconsciously mirror leaders' emotional state, which this explains calm leaders create calm teams. And the last one, stress impact. Chronic stress physically shrinks decision-making areas of the brain. So tools like mindfulness and biofeedback put these insights into practice. And this is why I'm so excited about these fields. It turns leadership development into a science. In these recent years, technology has completely changed how we approach both neuroscience and leadership. And for example, fMRIs and EEGs studies allow us to watch the brain in real time while someone is making decisions or processing emotions. These tools help us move beyond just theories. We can now see what's happening in the brain during things like empathy, moral reasoning, or social interaction. Apart from that, we're also using AI to analyze emotional and behavioral patterns in both individual and group settings. These systems can track tone of voice, facial expression, or even brainwave data, and this gives us incredible insights into things like stress, engagement, and emotional intelligence. And what I think it's really excited is how this stage bridges science and leadership. Coaches and research can now use real brain data to train leaders to regulate their emotions better, understand others more deeply, and to communicate more effectively also. So the specific sample that I wanted to talk about is when brain activation, when empathy. In a landmark study by Dissity and Jackson, researchers used fMRI to explore how the brain responds when we feel empathy. And they discovered that certain areas of the brain light up consistently when someone is imagining another person's pain or their emotional state. And some of the most important areas include the medial prefrontal cortex, which is involved in understanding others and relating their experiences, the anterior insula, which helps us process emotional pain and awareness, the temporal parietal junction, which is key for perspective taking, and even the amygdala, which plays a role in emotional silence. It recognizes how important or urgent something feels. So here you can see I created a chart with Excel. It's based on those findings that I just explained in the slide before. I assign estimate activator scores to each brain region based on the article's descriptions, just to visually communicate how active each region becomes during empathy. As you can see, the medial prefrontal cortex and anterior insula are the most strongly activated. This makes sense because these areas are central to emotional understanding and awareness. And why would this matter to leadership? You will be questioning. It is because empathy is not just a soft skill. It is not just about being nice or understanding. It is an actual neurological process. So we can study it, we can measure it, and we can strengthen it. When leaders engage in empathy, these brain regions activate. Over time, consistent empathy strengthens those pathways, and these make leaders more effective. They become better at building trust, inspiring others, and resolving conflict. And it is not just theory, it is grounded in brain science. So when I work with leaders or teams in the future, I want to use this kind of data to help them to see that self-awareness and emotional intelligence are actual part of their biology, and that knowledge can be a huge motivation for personal growth and for better communication. Thank you for letting me share all this with you, and thank you for listening.